Another part of considering whether or not to accept the offer is really reading the offer letter really closely. Here are some things to look out for. First of all, determine if you've got an offer letter or a contract. Offer letters are less formal and often mean at will, whereas contracts are binding. But an offer letter still has some legal implications. Whether you have an offer letter or a contract, there's some things you need to look out for. First of all, make sure everything that's basic is addressed. Your title, your salary, who you will report to, that should all be in there. These are more common in contracts, but you want to check and see if there's a non-compete or non-solicit clause, meaning you can't compete with the company after you leave or bring anyone from that company with you for a certain period of time. These should eventually end. If they don't, or the time frame is really long, that's something to look out for. This is kind of a worst case scenario, but you want to check for anything mentioning mandatory arbitration. This means that if a legal dispute between you and the company were to occur, you'd need to basically privately settle rather than going into litigation. If there's a bonus structure or stock options available to you, you also want to make sure that those are clearly stated so there's no confusion. And don't feel bad if you want the recruiter to walk you through these. When I was a recruiter, we talked about stock options with employees all the time. And finally, if you're creating assets of any kind for the company, understand what they're asking you to agree in terms of intellectual property and ownership. And if you get the offer letter and the compensation isn't what you want, then I would encourage you to negotiate and ask for more, just like we talked about in lesson 4. But if they don't budge on money and you really, really want to work here still, here's some other perks that you can negotiate for instead. Vacation time, education, health insurance, stock options, gym, cell phone, or tech discounts, a bonus, work from home days, or the opportunity to renegotiate in 6 months. And now let's talk to our lawyer about how you can deal with negotiating an offer letter or contract. How do you ask questions about or negotiate an offer letter or contract?
I recommend that you be very direct, that at the conclusion of the interview, you simply ask if there is going to be documentation and paperwork provided to you for review as to the terms and conditions of your employment if the position is to be offered. And then once you get that, you'll have an opportunity to review it and determine whether or not it's accurate, it has everything you need in it. Maybe have a lawyer look at it, someone who's reviewed a lot of contracts who kind of knows what should and shouldn't be in there, what you could and couldn't ask for, someone who's familiar with your qualifications so that you may be able to spot some point of leverage that you could use in order to get, some extra severance or some stock options that you wouldn't otherwise have thought to even ask for. So yes, I would recommend that you go and buy an hour of someone's time and have them go through the document with you and explain what it means in English and make sure that it covers everything that you thought you negotiated for.